Imagine you're standing in the middle of a battlefield, where the future of an entire kingdom hangs in the balance. Two powerful leaders, one the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, the other a duke from Normandy, are about to decide who will rule. But what if the winner wasn't even from the country being fought over? How did an outsider, William the Conqueror, manage to claim the throne of England in a single day? This is the story of the Battle of Hastings, a battle that changed the course of history forever. The following images in this video have been altered and generated using AI technology. They are not exact replicas of historical events or people, but are used to provide a visual representation of what the events may have looked like. These images are intended solely for illustrative purposes, to help bring the story to life. The death of King Edward the Confessor in January 1066 sparked a fierce power struggle for the throne of England. Edward left no heir, and three powerful men laid claim to the crown. Harold Godwinson, Edward's trusted brother-in-law and the most powerful noble in England, was crowned king almost immediately. However, Duke William of Normandy, across the Channel, believed he had been promised the throne by Edward. Meanwhile, Harald Hardrada of Norway also claimed the crown, setting the stage for one of the most chaotic years in English history. Harold's ascension to the throne wasn't universally accepted, especially by William, who felt deeply betrayed. Edward had reportedly promised William the throne years earlier, and now the new King of England wasn't him but Harold. With fury and determination, William began gathering forces from across Normandy and Europe, preparing for what would be one of the most important invasions in history. As William gathered his forces, Harold Godwinson had to deal with another threat. Harald Hardrada of Norway invaded northern England, forcing Harold to rush his army northward to meet this new threat. At Stamford Bridge, Harold Godwinson achieved a resounding victory, defeating Harald Hardrada and eliminating one of his rivals. However, the victory came at a cost. His army was exhausted from the long march and the hard-fought battle. Meanwhile, William's fleet set sail from Normandy, landing in southern England at Pevensey in late September 1066. Harold had to march his already weary army south, covering hundreds of miles in a matter of days. By the time the two armies met near Hastings, Harold's forces were stretched thin, and William was ready for the fight of his life. The morning of October 14th, 1066, began with both armies facing each other across a narrow battlefield. Harold's forces, numbering around 7,000, took up a defensive position on a ridge, forming the famous shield wall, a tactic that had served them well at Stamford Bridge. William's army of around 10,000, made up of infantry, archers, and cavalry, faced an uphill battle, literally and figuratively. For hours, the Normans launched attack after attack, but the English shield wall held firm. Norman infantry clashed with the wall, while archers fired volleys, attempting to break the English defense. At one point, William's forces appeared to be retreating, and the English broke ranks to pursue them. It was then that William revealed his tactical genius. This retreat was a feint. The Normans quickly turned, surrounded the broken English lines, and slaughtered those who had left the safety of the shield wall. This feigned retreat was the turning point. With the shield wall weakened, the Normans pressed their advantage, and chaos erupted across the battlefield. Harold fought bravely, but fate was against him. As the day wore on, Harold Godwinson's position became increasingly desperate. The Norman cavalry charged repeatedly into the broken shield wall, cutting down English soldiers. According to popular accounts, Harold was struck by an arrow to the eye, falling in battle. With Harold dead, the English army began to crumble, leaderless and demoralized. By the end of the day, William had emerged victorious, and the battlefield was littered with the bodies of English soldiers. The death of Harold Godwinson not only marked the end of the battle, but also the end of Anglo-Saxon rule in England. William the Conqueror had won the English crown, but his victory would lead to a profound transformation of the country. William's victory at Hastings was just the beginning of the Norman conquest. In the months that followed, he secured his rule over England, culminating in his coronation on Christmas Day, 1066. The Norman influence over England transformed everything from the language and culture to the very structure of society. Castles, like the Tower of London, began to dot the English landscape as William solidified his grip on the kingdom. The battle also marked the end of Anglo-Saxon dominance in England. The Norman influence would shape the future of the English monarchy, law, and even the English language, leaving an indelible mark on the country's history. From a single battle, the future of England was reshaped and the course of history altered forever. The Battle of Hastings wasn't just a clash of armies, it was the birth of a new era. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most pivotal battles, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another fascinating tale from the past. Thanks for watching.